Are you thinking about relocating to Germany, but you're not sure if you need to learn German? Can you get by with just English, or is speaking German essential for your work, social life, and daily interactions? In this video, we'll dive into these questions and go through some key points to help you make an educated decision for yourself. If you're new here, hi, I'm Salome, a native German teacher specializing in helping expats who are moving to Germany become confident and conversational in the language. Over the past few years, I've talked to hundreds of expats who've relocated to Germany for different reasons, so I have a pretty good sense of when learning German is a must and when you might be able to get by with just English. I've structured this topic into 4 key areas that we're going to discuss in this video. First one is work and professional life, everyday life communication, cultural integration and social life, and legal and administrative requirements. Also, bist du bereit? Are you ready? Los geht's! Let's start with work and professional life. There are several job opportunities in Germany that don't require German. That includes roles in tech and IT, engineering and research, international banks and consulting firms, as well as marketing and sales positions focused on digital marketing and international sales. You can also find tourism-related roles and teaching positions in international schools that don't require German language skills. While German isn't always necessary in these fields, learning the language can definitely improve your job prospects and help you communicate better with colleagues. The only time you might not need to learn German for your career is if you know for sure that you're only staying in Germany temporarily, let's say for a 2-year contract, and then you're planning to leave. However, I've worked with many students who initially thought they were only staying short-term, only to find themselves wanting to stay longer, whether for personal or professional reasons. So after 2 to 3 years, they come to me ready to learn German because they see how important it is for deeper integration and long-term success. So even if your job doesn't require German right now, if you're thinking about staying long-term or simply want to connect better with German-speaking colleagues, learning the language is a must. But if you know for certain that you'll be leaving soon, it may not be worth the investment of your time. When it comes to everyday life and communication in Germany, knowing German can really make a difference in how smooth your daily activities go. That said, the importance of the language varies quite a bit depending on whether you're in a city, a suburb, or the countryside. In urban centers like Berlin, Munich, and Frankfurt, you'll find that many locals speak English. This can make things easier, allowing you to handle everyday tasks like shopping, dining out, and using public transportation without too much hassle. Many shops, restaurants, and cafes do cater to English speakers, and it's common to see signs and menus in English as well. Now, if you're happy with just staying within the English-speaking expat bubble and don't care about truly interacting with locals, you might be able to get by without learning German. But let's be honest, if you want a richer experience and meaningful connections, I do encourage you to learn at least some basic phrases. Even a little effort can go a long way in helping you connect more genuinely with the people around you and fully enjoy what Germany has to offer. If you're looking for a way to get started, I've created a video with some essential survival phrases to help you focus on the basics. I'll have that linked below for you. Now, if you're planning to relocate to the countryside or smaller towns, the landscape changes significantly. Here, knowing German becomes much more crucial. Many locals may not speak English, which can turn everyday tasks like grocery shopping or visiting the local post office into a real challenge without the language. Being able to communicate in German not only helps you navigate these situations, but also allows you to engage more deeply with your neighbors and participate in local events. So to sum this up, while living in a city might let you manage with limited German, learning the language is key to making your experience smoother and building meaningful connections. In the countryside, grasping German is essential if you want to truly engage with daily life and form relationships with those around you. Now let's talk about social life. Can you really thrive without knowing German? It really depends on the kind of people you want to connect with. If you're comfortable only surrounding yourself with people from your home country or fellow expats, then English might be sufficient for you. You might even make some German friends, especially since many Germans of my generation, for example, speak excellent English. However, when you're socializing in a group, it's natural for your German friends to converse in their own language. That can leave you feeling isolated or like you're missing out on the conversation. I've spoken with many people who found themselves in this situation and felt uncomfortable when their friends or family had to switch to English just for them. I can actually also relate to this from my own experience. When I moved to Hong Kong, I made a real effort to learn Cantonese, even though English was perfectly acceptable. I didn't want my colleagues, however, to feel obligated to conduct an entire meeting in English just for me. And being able to understand what was happening during small talk was incredibly rewarding, allowing me to jump in with my thoughts when I wanted to. So learning German can definitely make a significant difference in how you connect with those around you. It will help you feel more included and give you the chance to build deeper, more meaningful relationships. So while you can get by without the language, I do encourage you to consider the experiences and connections you might be missing out on by not diving into the German language. And if you've by now have come to the conclusion that learning German makes sense for your specific situation, I encourage you to start as soon as possible, even if you haven't relocated yet. Getting a head start on the language can make your entire move here so much smoother. When you're already in the flow of learning, it takes one less worry off your plate. Now, I'm not saying you need to be fluent before you arrive, but beginning your language journey now can set you up for success later. Taking those first steps will not only build your confidence, but also help you feel more at home once you get here. Trust me, you'll be grateful for the effort you put in. And if you're not sure where to get started, I have a free workshop for beginners that is the perfect place to set you on the right foot with everything you need to know in order to become conversational in German. I would love to see you there. You can find the link to register for free in the description box below. But if by now you're still not sure if you would need to learn German or not, let's also dive into the requirements for visas, permanent residency, and citizenship in Germany. For most visa applications, particularly those for work or study, knowledge of German is not typically a strict requirement. However, having some proficiency can enhance your chances, especially if you're applying for positions where communication in German is essential. Many employers in Germany prefer candidates who can speak the language, so even basic knowledge can be a considerable asset during the hiring process. When it comes to applying for permanent residency, the Niederlassungserlaubnis, language proficiency becomes more critical. Generally, applicants are required to demonstrate a certain level of German proficiency. Typically, you need to show at least an A1 level on the Common European Framework of Reference for Languages, the CEFR. This means you should be able to understand and use familiar everyday expressions and basic phrases. And if you're aiming for German citizenship, the language requirements are more strict. Applicants usually need to demonstrate a B1 level of proficiency in German. And in addition to language skills, you'll also need to pass a naturalization test that covers aspects of German law, society, and culture. To meet these language requirements, you need to take a language exam. What I also want you to consider is that if you need a language certificate due to legal requirements, approach it the right way. What I mean by this is to learn German for communicating with people, as it will make your life here so much easier. The worst way to go about this is to just drill exam papers and never use the language afterwards. There is literally no point in that. I say this because I've had countless German learners come to me after passing language exams, but who still couldn't speak a word because they lacked confidence. Don't be that person. Do it the right way. My free workshop for beginners is linked below. By the end of the workshop, you'll find out more about how you can study German with me. I also help students prepare for exams, but the main focus is to help you become confident and conversational in German so that the exam feels like second nature. I truly hope you found this video helpful in making a more informed decision about whether or not to learn German for your relocation. It's a big step, and I'm here to support you on your journey. I'd love to hear about your thoughts and conclusions, so please share them in the comments below. And I'll be back next week with my usual content for learning German. Make sure to stay tuned. Das ist alles für heute. Vielen Dank fürs Zuschauen und bis zum nächsten Mal. Tschüss!